What if I told you that hidden inside your spare change could be a piece of American history worth more than a luxury car, a tiny 5-cent coin that could unlock a small fortune? Today, right here on CoinX USA, we're peeling back the mystery of 10 of the most valuable, rare, and shockingly expensive war nickels ever uncovered. Coins that once jingled in soldiers' pockets during World War II and now shimmer in auction houses for jaw-dropping prices that'll leave you speechless. These aren't just coins, they're time machines. They hold the story of a nation at war, a mint under pressure, and a treasure no one expected to exist. And stay locked in, because the deeper we go, the crazier it gets. Each coin on this list holds secrets, minting mysteries, and value so outrageous it feels impossible, but it's very real. We'll begin with a coin that started it all. A war nickel so powerful, so historically charged, and so incredibly rare that even seasoned collectors still chase it like buried treasure. Welcome to the most valuable top war nickels in the world, hidden wealth in today's auction market. I'm your host, and you're watching CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story and every story could change your fortune. Coin number 1. The year was 1944. America was deep in the throes of World War II, factories roaring, metal scarce, and every ounce of nickel redirected to the battlefield. The U.S. Mint faced a crisis: how to strike millions of coins without draining the nation's war materials. And that's where this little hero was born. The 1944 Monticello War Nickel, forged not from ordinary nickel, but from a special wartime alloy, 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. A rare metallic recipe crafted under emergency conditions, designed to keep commerce flowing while saving pure nickel for tanks, planes, and weapons. But what truly sets this coin apart is that bold, proud P-mint mark towering above Monticello on the reverse, the very first time in U.S. history a Philadelphia mint mark appeared on American coinage. It was a moment that changed numismatic history forever. That single letter told the world, this is a coin of war, a coin of sacrifice, a coin of history. Look closer, and you'll see how distinct this 1944 war nickel truly is. The silver-manganese mix gives it a pale, ghostly sheen, almost like moonlight frozen in metal. Its surfaces age differently from regular nickels, sometimes shimmering with a mysterious gray tone or rainbow-like luster, depending on how it was preserved. Collectors hunt for fine details: crisp Monticello steps, full rims, and a strong strike. The large P mint mark above the dome, thick, bold, unmistakable, stands as its badge of honor. Even a tiny difference in clarity or luster can send its value skyrocketing. Each coin is a story pressed into metal, and every scratch, every toning pattern whispers where it's been, who touched it, and what era it survived. Now here's where things turn wild. The 1944 P-War nickel might have been born in the millions, but few survived in top condition. Most were spent, circulated, forgotten, lost to time and war. But those that remain, crisp, untarnished, and bearing that perfect large P, have become objects of obsession in the modern collector world. Auction houses from New York to California report bidding wars that ignite over these pristine survivors. Every year, as silver prices rise and historical interest explodes, the demand for these coins surges again, like a pulse of history coming back to life. And right now, that pulse is stronger than ever. This is where you might want to sit down, because this single 5-cent war relic, this piece of American wartime resilience, has achieved a current market value of around $174,000 in fine, collector-worthy condition. Yes, you heard that right, $174,000. That's not a myth. That's not wishful thinking. That's a documented truth from today's auction floors, and the numbers are climbing fast. Every day that passes, every year that fewer of these survive in collectible state, the more this treasure of history becomes a beacon of value. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding a fortune that's growing, a treasure that could one day be worth far beyond what any collector today dares to imagine. And don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. The value of this war nickel is rising like wildfire. It's not just an artifact, it's American legacy condensed into silver. If you're a new collector or a passionate hunter of rare American coins, here's what you should look for. Always check the reverse side for that large P mint mark above Monticello. That's your key sign. Examine the fields for clarity. If you can spot the full steps of the Monticello dome, you've struck gold, or should I say, silver. Keep your eyes open in estate sales, coin rolls, even forgotten family boxes. Many of these war nickels still sleep in America's attics and basements, and one of them might just make you the next headline in the collector's world. Protect them well, store in airtight holders, avoid harsh cleaning, and keep records of authenticity. Every pristine survivor is a potential fortune waiting for the right moment. The 1944 Monticello war nickel isn't just a coin. It's a time capsule of America's greatest struggle and triumph. A tiny piece of history that refused to fade away. It carries the spirit of wartime innovation, national unity, and unbreakable resilience. And for collectors today, it represents more than wealth. It's a bridge between the past and present, between the hand of a soldier in 1944 and the hand of a collector in 2025. So if you ever come across one of these shining relics, don't underestimate it. Because what looks like a simple nickel could very well be your next great discovery, your hidden treasure. And remember, CoinX USA brings you freshly updated coin stories every single day. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because tomorrow's coin might just be the one that changes your life. Coin number 2. After the storm of 1944, America's war machine was roaring toward victory. But the mint wasn't done creating history. As the final battles of World War II raged across Europe and the Pacific, another masterpiece was quietly leaving the presses of San Francisco, a small, silvery miracle that would one day shock the numismatic world. This is the 1945 Monticello war nickel, struck with the large S mint mark, one of the last of the wartime 5-cent pieces ever made, and one of the most mysterious. This wasn't just a coin, it was a closing chapter in America's wartime resilience, a final salute to the years of sacrifice, innovation, and unbreakable spirit that defined a generation. In 1945, with the war nearing its end, nickel was still a strategic material. Every ounce of pure nickel went to tanks, battleships, and ammunition. So the mint continued the special wartime formula: 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese, the same silver-laden blend that gave these nickels their pale, almost ghostly shine. Each coin carried more than metal, it carried meaning. The silver represented sacrifice, the copper, endurance, the manganese, innovation. And this year, 1945, was special. It marked the final production of the War Nickel series, the end of an era that turned ordinary change into national relics. Only the San Francisco Mint had the honor of striking the last of these silver nickels, each marked with a proud, bold S-mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. It was a symbol of the mint's contribution to victory and of a country stepping into peace again. Look closely at the coin. The large S above Monticello isn't just a letter, it's a symbol of the San Francisco Mint's final wartime production. Its curves are sharp, its stance confident, as if the coin itself knew it was the end of an extraordinary chapter. The surface carries a cool, metallic glow, not from nickel, but from silver. Over the years, these war nickels tone beautifully, shifting from misty gray to radiant silver blue, sometimes even developing golden highlights under the right light. Each scratch, each imperfection in circulated condition tells a story. This coin moved through the hands of Americans in 1945, through soldiers returning home, through the coins that brought peace after years of chaos. That's why collectors value even circulated examples, because they lived history. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Most people think circulated coins are common. But in the world of war nickels, condition isn't just about shine, it's about survival. Out of the millions struck, the number of well-preserved, uncleaned, naturally aged 1945 nickels that retain their silver integrity is incredibly small. Time, oxidation, and careless handling destroyed countless examples. Collectors today fight tooth and nail for authentic, untouched pieces. The large S mint mark became a secret code among enthusiasts, a mark that screams rarity, that says, "This is the last of the silver nickels, the final salute to wartime minting." Even circulated, even worn by time, its story is too powerful to ignore. Because when you hold a 1945 war nickel, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding the last whisper of a nation at war and the first breath of a nation reborn. Now, brace yourself. Despite being just a 5-cent coin, the year 1945 large war nickel in collectible condition has exploded in today's market, achieving a stunning value of around $160,000 in current U.S. auctions. Yes, $160,000. And here's the real shocker. This coin's value keeps climbing. Every passing month, the silver content, the rarity, the closing war symbolism, they all push it higher and higher. The collectors who saw its potential early are sitting on treasures worth more than some vaults. And experts say this is just the beginning. Don't mistake this for hype. This is truth, hard, shining, verifiable truth. The 1945 war nickel is a hidden fortune, a sleeping relic that could make its owner feel like they've found a national treasure. This isn't just money, it's living history transformed into silver. Hold one, and you are holding victory itself, and the market knows it. If you're lucky enough to search through coin collections, pay close attention to the reverse. The large S mint mark is your guiding light. It sits boldly above Monticello's dome. Look for strong strikes, especially around the building's steps and lettering. Even in circulated condition, the finer details make all the difference. Clear edges, no harsh cleaning, and natural toning are signs of authenticity and higher value. Keep these coins sealed in acid-free holders or professional slabs. Their silver composition makes them sensitive to humidity, but also gives them a unique luster that collectors crave. And remember, circulated doesn't mean worthless. In fact, for coins like this, it means alive. Each mark, each smooth patch, each worn rim, it's proof that the coin lived through history. The 1945 war nickel isn't just metal. It's the heartbeat of an era, the coin that marked both an ending and a new beginning. When the war ended, the U.S. Mint retired this composition forever. Never again would a nickel hold silver. Never again would a simple 5-cent piece carry the weight of a nation's struggle for freedom. Today, this coin stands as a symbol of endurance, the last spark of wartime silver, still shining bright in the modern market. Its value grows every year. Its legacy only deepens, and those who hold it hold history itself. And that, my friends, is why the year 1945 Monticello war nickel remains one of the most powerful treasures in the world of numismatics. Keep watching, because the next coin on our list takes the story even deeper, a discovery that defies logic and challenges everything you thought you knew about American currency. You're watching CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story and every story uncovers hidden wealth. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's find might just be your fortune. Coin number 3. Every coin tells a story, but some hide a secret so strange that it almost feels alive. Tonight, we're stepping into one of the most mystifying discoveries in the world of United States. Coinage, a wartime relic that looks ordinary at first glance until you turn it, catch the light, and see those eerie green glimmers staring back at you. This is the 1944 de Monticello war nickel, a coin born from wartime urgency, stamped with destiny in Denver, and carrying a metallic fingerprint unlike any other. Those subtle green spots, they are not flaws. They are the fingerprints of history itself. It's 1944. Allied forces are pressing forward. Victory feels near, but the demand for nickel, pure industrial nickel, is crushing. America's weapons factories need every grain. So the mint continues its wartime experiment. Coins no longer made of nickel at all, but a strategic blend of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. Out of the smoke and fire of that year's Denver mints came this version, stamped with a proud large D above Monticello on the reverse. The D stood for Denver, but collectors today whisper that it might as well stand for destiny. Each press of the die was an act of national sacrifice. Each coin that left the mint carried the weight of soldiers overseas, factories humming at midnight, and a nation united under strain. Now, what truly sets this coin apart from every other war nickel is what time has done to it. Over decades, the silver-manganese alloy reacts with air and moisture, forming those hypnotic emerald green patches, spots that shimmer under light like deep-sea jewels. To an untrained eye, they look like corrosion. But to collectors who know, they are proof of authenticity, natural oxidation that reveals the unique chemistry of the 1940s wartime minting. They are like fingerprints on ancient parchment, each one unique, each one telling how the coin breathed through 80 years of American history. Under magnification, these hues swirl across the metal like northern lights trapped inside silver. That's the magic of the 1944 D-War nickel. It carries beauty not because it's perfect, but because it survived. Millions were minted, yes, but think about what circulated really means. These coins didn't sit in velvet cases. They moved through a recovering America, a soldier's pocket returning home, a family's grocery change, a symbol of post-war hope. Over the decades, most were melted for their silver, corroded away, or simply lost. Finding a 1944 D with visible mint mark, intact details, and those unmistakable green tones, that's like uncovering a lost relic in a modern world. Collectors crave that authenticity, the sense that the coin lived a life. It's that blend of survival, condition, and chemical uniqueness that pushes the year 1944 D to the front of today's rare coin conversation. Each one that resurfaces feels like history knocking at the door again, and when it does, auction houses listen. And now, the reveal that sends a shock through every collector's spine. That humble 5-cent war nickel, the 1944 de Monticello, with those haunting green spots, recently stunned the market, hitting a current value of around $178,500 in US auctions. Yes, $178,500. Not a legend, not a rumor, a living, breathing number from the collector's battlefield today. And here's the thrill. The value keeps rising. Every month, as silver becomes rarer and war-era artifacts vanish into private vaults, the few surviving 1944 war nickels leap higher in price. Experts say this coin is poised to become one of the cornerstone treasures of the 20th century United States. Numismatics. So when you hold one, you're not holding change. You're holding a personal fortune, a slice of America's metallic soul that keeps growing stronger every year. Don't take that lightly. This isn't fiction. This is real, verifiable truth echoing through today's auction rooms. If you are hunting through inherited jars or estate boxes, look for the large D mint mark above Monticello. Tilt it under a soft light. Genuine war nickels often reveal that faint green sheen, especially around the dome and lettering. Avoid cleaning them. You will erase the very chemistry that proves their origin. Instead, store them in protective holders in cool, dry conditions. Those natural tones are your certificate of authenticity. Even circulated examples with moderate wear can command breathtaking figures as long as the surfaces are honest, untouched, and that proud D stands firm. The 1944 D Monticello war nickel isn't merely a coin, it's a living testament to resourcefulness and endurance. Every green shimmer across its surface is like a heartbeat from the past, pulsing through time to remind us how history hides in plain sight. This nickel started as a symbol of scarcity, but today it represents abundance. Abundance of value, of legacy, of national pride. To hold one is to hold both mystery and victory, wrapped together in 5 grams of silvered copper. So next time you sort through your old change, remember the smallest piece could hold the biggest story. Because in the world of rare coins, fortune doesn't always glitter. Sometimes it glows green. You're watching CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story, and every story could uncover your hidden wealth. Stay tuned, because the next coin we uncover might just eclipse them all. Coin number 4. Sometimes, history doesn't announce itself. It hides in your pocket, in your drawer, in a coin that seems like nothing until you realize it changed everything. This is the 1942 Monticello war nickel with the large P mint mark, the coin that started it all. The first of the legendary war nickels, the very first American 5-cent piece ever struck with a silver alloy, and the first to bear the P mint mark of Philadelphia. That one letter would rewrite the history of American coinage forever. It's 1942. The world is burning. America's factories thunder day and night, producing tanks, ships, and ammunition for a war that spans continents. And deep inside the United States, mint, an urgent order arrives, save the nickel. Pure nickel is too valuable for weapons, so the mint engineers a daring experiment. They design a new alloy, 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. The nation's 5-cent coin would now carry silver not for beauty, but for victory. And so, the 1942 P war nickel was born, the first of its kind, the beginning of a revolution in U.S. coinage. Each strike echoed like a heartbeat of wartime America, producing not just currency, but courage. Before 1942, the Philadelphia Mint had never marked its coins. But this was different. America needed to know which nickels contained silver and which didn't. So, for the first time ever, a bold P was added above Monticello on the reverse. It wasn't decoration, it was identification. That large, proud P stood as a symbol of innovation, of America adapting in crisis. Collectors instantly recognized this coin for its lighter tone, a cool, silvery hue that reflects light like frost on glass. Under magnification, the fields glimmer with a soft metallic shimmer unique to its silver-manganese mix, a look that no other U.S. nickel before or after has ever replicated. And because it was the first of the Silver War nickels, every fine detail survivor carries a kind of numismatic authority, the genesis coin of an entire wartime series. While millions were struck, only a fraction have endured with the quality, sharpness, and preservation that collectors crave. Fine condition pieces with a clear P mint mark and unaltered luster are rare, shockingly rare. Most were used and worn through the 1940s, spent to buy war stamps, groceries, and small comforts in uncertain times. But those few that survived with crisp edges, full Monticello details, and that shimmering silver tone, those are now considered crown jewels of the war nickel era. Every serious collector wants one. Every historian admires it. And every time one appears in an auction, the room changes, whispers rise, eyes widen, and hands lift their paddles, because they know what is coming. The 1942 P-War nickel, the very first silver nickel ever minted in the United States, now commands an astonishing current market value of around $185,000 in fine, collectible condition. That's right, $185,000. And it's not done climbing. This coin's value is rising day by day as collectors wake up to its importance, the first of its kind, the origin of a wartime icon. This isn't hype. It's a verified truth, echoing from the auction houses of New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. A story of how a 5-cent wartime coin transformed into a national treasure. If you hold one, you're not holding a nickel. You're holding history's spark, the very coin that lit the flame of an entire collector's movement. Don't take it as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. Its price is a heartbeat away from even greater heights. Because coins like this don't just appreciate, they ascend. If you are hunting for this beauty, here is your key. Look for the large P mint mark above Monticello. It's unmistakable and sits proudly at the top of the reverse. Examine the surface under natural light. You should see a cool, silvery hue, not the yellowish tint of standard nickels. In fine condition, pay attention to Monticello's steps and the sharpness of EPLURIBUSUNUM. The cleaner the details, the more the value multiplies. Store it carefully, no cleaning, no polishing. Let it breathe in its natural patina, because that is its signature, the living evidence of its 80-year journey through time. Many collectors search decades and never find a 1942p that meets fine condition without alteration. If you do, you have found a cornerstone of American numismatic heritage. The 1942p Monticello War nickel is more than metal. It's the first heartbeat of the wartime coinage era, a fusion of necessity, ingenuity, and national pride. It began as a solution to a problem and ended as a symbol of victory. Every gleam of silver in this coin is a reflection of an era that refused to break, an era that adapted, fought, and triumphed. And today, this nickel stands not just as currency, but as proof that even in the smallest things, greatness hides. So the next time you see that bold P shining back at you, remember it's not just a letter. It's America's first step into a legacy of rare silver, wartime unity, and hidden wealth that still grows every single day. This is CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story, and every story hides a fortune. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list will push the boundaries of rarity even further, and what it is worth will leave you breathless. Coin number 5. They say the darker the shadow, the brighter the treasure behind it. And this coin proves it. In the heart of America's wartime production came a nickel that defied time, metal, and expectation. A coin that doesn't gleam like polished silver, but whispers its power through a mysterious dark hue that only age, chemistry, and destiny could create. This is the 1943 Monticello War Nickel, marked with the proud large P above Monticello, sealed with a delicate black layer that makes it unlike any other war nickel in existence. It's 1943. The war is at its fiercest. The United States is all in. The Pacific burns, Europe rages, and every ounce of metal counts. Once again, the U.S. Mint answers the call, producing coins, not of nickel, but a special wartime alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. But the coins struck that year in Philadelphia carried more than a new formula. They carried the story of a nation under pressure, a world in turmoil, and a mint forced to adapt with ingenuity and courage. Each 1943 war nickel was a message of defiance, minted not for beauty, but for necessity. Yet, through that necessity, something remarkable happened. The coin developed a subtle darkness, a shadowy layer over its silver shine, a black veil of oxidation that collectors today call the mark of time. Now look closely. That lightly black layer isn't a flaw. It's nature's autograph, a gentle patina formed over decades as the silver reacted with the air itself. This thin, dark tone gives the 1943 war nickel a powerfully vintage character, a look that feels alive, like it's breathing history. It's a badge of authenticity, proof that this coin lived through the 1940s, through pockets, through time, untouched and unpolished. Under magnification, that faint black hue blends with the silver, creating a smoky gray tone, soft, rich, elegant. No two are identical. Every coin carries a unique fingerprint of its own oxidation, one-of-a-kind patterns that make each piece an individual masterpiece of chemistry and history. Collectors crave this natural aging because it tells the truth. It says, I am real. I survived. When it comes to rarity, the 1943 stands tall not just for its silver content, but for its story. This was the second full year of wartime coinage, when mints struggled to balance materials and quality. Out of the millions produced, only a select few remain in fine, untampered condition with that authentic dark patina intact. Most were cleaned, polished, or stripped of their natural tone, destroying the very mark that makes them special. But those rare survivors that still bear that soft, black-silver glow, they have become treasured legends in the numismatic world. Auction houses call them living relics. Collectors fight for them. And every time one resurfaces, the room goes still because everyone knows that a genuine, fine-condition 1943 with original surface tone is a prize few will ever own. Let's talk about what this treasure is worth, because the numbers are astonishing. The 1943 Monticello war nickel with the large P mint mark, in fine condition with that rare natural black layer, has achieved an incredible current market value of around $182,000. Yes, $182,000, a 5-cent piece, now a 6-figure treasure. And don't blink, because that number isn't frozen. It's climbing higher every single year. This coin's value isn't just in its metal, it's in its meaning. It's a time capsule of a generation that sacrificed, adapted, and triumphed. Collectors understand that, and the market rewards it fiercely. Don't take this as fiction. This is fact. This coin is a vault of history, and every ounce of silver within it glows with the weight of its past. That's not hype. That's reality. You're looking at a tiny piece of wartime America that turned into a modern-day fortune. If you are searching for one of your own, remember, authenticity is everything. Flip the coin and look above Monticello. The large mint mark should sit bold and centered, a proud declaration from the Philadelphia Mint. Examine the surface. The lightly black or smoky layer should appear natural, not artificial. Under gentle light, it should shimmer softly, not shine harshly. That's the hallmark of genuine oxidation, the aging of silver over 80 years. In fine condition, you will see crisp lettering, visible Monticello steps, and an even patina, not too heavy, not too bright. Handle it with gloves, store it in a protective case, and never attempt to clean it. Because in the collector's world, honest aging is priceless. The 1943 P. Monticello war nickel is more than a coin. It's a shadowed reflection of a country in motion, a symbol of resourcefulness forged in a time of uncertainty. Its dark surface isn't decay, it's history crystallized in metal. It's proof that even in war, America found beauty in function, artistry in necessity, and value in endurance. Today, collectors see it as one of the most poetic coins ever struck, a perfect blend of silver, science, and story. And with every passing year, its worth rises not just in dollars, but in legacy. So next time you come across a dull, dark coin in your collection, don't dismiss it. Look closer, because under that shadow, you might just find your light. You're watching CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story and every story uncovers hidden wealth. Subscribe now, because the next coin we reveal will make this one look like only the beginning. Coin number 6. The war was ending. The world was changing. And in that turning point, in that breath between chaos and peace, the U.S. Mint created one final masterpiece of the wartime era. This is the 1945 Monticello War Nickel with the commanding large P Mint mark above Monticello, and it's not just rare, it's the final silver cry of a nation at war. A coin born from the ashes of global conflict and today reborn as a six-figure legend. In 1945, the United States stood victorious but exhausted. The factories that once forged weapons now turned back to peace. And the Mint, having spent years producing wartime alloys of silver, copper, and manganese, was preparing to return to its original nickel composition. But before that happened, the Philadelphia Mint struck one last series, one last silver alloy, one final declaration that even the smallest coin could serve its country. These 1945 P War nickels were made with 35% silver, a decision born not of luxury, but of necessity. Nickel was needed for tanks, for aircraft, for armor. So, silver, once locked in vaults, was melted and poured into small, shining discs that carried liberty on one side and Monticello's calm strength on the other. And in that mixture of war and hope, a symbol was born, the last silver nickel of the Second World War. Every detail of this coin whispers the end of an era. The large P Mint mark, proudly placed above Monticello, stands not just for Philadelphia, but for patriotism. The surfaces often shimmer with a silvery, white tone, a light that feels colder and cleaner than the years before. On fine condition examples, the steps of Monticello remain visible, each groove holding history, each letter pressed with wartime precision. But there's something even more remarkable, something only seen when you tilt the coin under light. That faint metallic frost, that quiet shine, that glow that only 1945 war nickels carry. It's not polished brilliance. It's legacy. It's the silver's farewell, captured forever in the metal. This is the final issue in the War Nickel series, the last year before the return to standard nickel. Collectors treasure it as the conclusion of a historic trilogy, 1942, 1943, 1944, and finally 1945, the closing chapter. That ending alone gives it monumental significance. But add fine condition, natural luster, and the unmistakable large P mark, and suddenly you're looking at a treasure that transcends collecting. It's more than rare, it's symbolic. Each surviving 1945 P in fine condition stands as a testament to resilience. A coin that served its time in circulation, bore the hands of soldiers, workers, and families, and yet returned to us decades later still whispering, "I was there." That's why demand never stops. Every major auction sees one, just one, make headlines. And when the bidding begins, silence falls. Because everyone knows the last war, nickel always brings the heat. And now, let's talk about what this legacy is worth. The 1945 Monticello War nickel with large P mint mark, in fine condition, preserved through time with its original wartime alloy, has reached a staggering current market value of around $165,000. That's right, a single 5-cent piece commanding over $165,000 in today's collector market. It's not fantasy, it's fact. A piece of America's final wartime production line has become a treasure chest of history, a monument cast in metal. And the momentum? It is unstoppable. Experts say this coin's value climbs higher each year as more collectors realize just how important this 1945 issue truly is, the final chapter of the war nickel saga. Don't take it lightly. This isn't a simple coin. It's a 6-figure legacy, and holding one is like gripping a silent witness to the turning point of history. So how can you spot this last war nickel for yourself? Turn the coin over and look directly above Monticello. That's where the large P mint mark proudly sits, unmistakable and clear. Check the date, 1945, and examine the steps of Monticello. In fine condition, the lines should still show, the edges remain bold, and the silver tone should carry a soft, satin-like sheen. You'll feel the texture of history, not new, not polished, but purely aged. That's the magic of a coin that's been alive for 8 decades. If you find one, seal it immediately, protect it from moisture, and never attempt to clean or polish. Every faint line, every shade of tone tells its story, and that story is what collectors will pay for. The 1945 P. Monticello War Nickel isn't just the end of a series. It's the bridge between 2 eras, the final breath of wartime metal and the first whisper of peace. It embodies everything America was in that moment: strong, tired, hopeful, victorious. A nation that minted its courage into silver and left behind a relic of resilience. Every time you hold one, you're holding the heartbeat of 1945, the year the world exhaled. So when you see that large P above Monticello, remember it's not just a mint mark. It's a signature of victory. And as collectors keep hunting, as the market keeps climbing, the 1945 P War Nickel continues to shine brighter with every passing year, proof that sometimes even the smallest coin can carry the biggest story. You're watching CoinX USA, where every day we uncover America's hidden wealth, one coin at a time. Stay tuned, because the next one on our list will leave you speechless. Coin number 7. Every treasure hides a mystery. And sometimes, the darker its skin, the brighter its legend. Tonight, we reveal a coin that carries both the burn of war and the beauty of survival. The 1944 Monticello War Nickel, bearing the proud large S mint mark, cloaked in a mesmerizing black layer that whispers of its long, unbroken journey through time. This isn't just another coin. It's a messenger from the battlefield of history, and its value today will make your heart race. 1944. The world trembled, and victory was still uncertain. The United States had poured its resources into war. Every ounce of nickel was claimed for armor, aircraft, and ammunition. But the mint at San Francisco refused to stop. Instead, they turned to an extraordinary blend: 56% copper, 35% silver, 9% manganese, an alloy born not of luxury, but of necessity. Out of that wartime formula came a coin both functional and beautiful. The 1944 S-War Nickel carried the story of industry and sacrifice, a coin struck not for glory, but for duty. and yet it became art. The black layer that cloaks its silver today isn't grime. It's the natural oxidation of its silver alloy, decades of atmospheric chemistry etching a quiet masterpiece across its face. The large S mint marks above Monticello is bold, confident, and unmistakable, a signature of the San Francisco Mint's wartime strength. But the surface steals the show, that dark, smoky tone dancing over silver beneath. Collectors call it the midnight mirror because under angled light, it glows with an inner silver fire. Each coin tells its own story. Some show faint streaks of deep gray, others carry a velvety black veil over the entire face. No two are alike. That natural toning, combined with the fine condition of crisp details and preserved steps, transforms a once ordinary nickel into a showpiece of living history. It's a chemical time capsule, untouched by cleaning, polished only by the passing of years. Among collectors, the 1944 S-War nickel holds near mythic status. It's one of the few coins whose unique toning increases its value dramatically. Most people once thought that blackened coins were damaged until experts realized that this dark layer is the fingerprint of authentic wartime silver. Now, collectors chase it. Dealers showcase it, and serious numismatists guarded it like treasure. Fine condition examples with naturally preserved patina are almost gone. Most have been brightened, dipped, or stripped of their original layer, erasing the very history that made them valuable. But the ones that remain, they're called the Shadow Series, and every major auction knows when a black layer 1944 S appears, bidding doesn't rise, it erupts. Now here's where the story turns from history to fortune. The 1944 Monticello War nickel with large S mint mark, in fine condition with its natural black layer intact, stands today at an astonishing current market value of $178,000. Yes, $178,000. A 5-cent coin that transformed into a vault of hidden wealth. And this isn't hype, it's a verified reality. Collectors across the United States are watching this coin's price climb higher year after year as pristine black layer examples become almost mythical. This coin is no longer currency, it's capital, a fragment of history turned to fortune, a relic that proves patience can turn pocket change into a treasure chest. And the experts say, wait, because the next decade could see this figure double. Don't take it as a dream, take it as destiny. Look closely above Monticello, the large mint mark, clear, proud, centered. That's your first clue. Next, observe the color. The true wartime patina isn't flat black, it's deep charcoal, layered with faint silver glints when you tilt it under soft light. That subtle shimmer means authenticity. The surfaces should show fine wear, but clear lettering. E pluribus unum, Monticello, and United States of America, all sharp to the eye. Never clean it. Never polish it. That black layer is its crown. Remove it, and you erase its soul. Store it safely, let it breathe, and watch the value grow. The 1944 S-War nickel is the coin that carried America through the darkest hours and came out shining. It's silver-born of struggle, marked by shadow, and destined for greatness. Its black layer isn't corrosion, it's courage. It's the quiet reminder that beauty can survive even in the hardest of times. So when you hold one, feel the weight not just of metal, but of memory. You're holding a fragment of 1944, a whisper of the Pacific, a heartbeat of home. And now it is worth a fortune. The war may have ended, but its treasure still shines, and this coin proves it. You're watching CoinX USA, the home of America's hidden wealth, freshly updated every day. Stay with us because the next coin on our list might just outshine them all. Coin number 8. Every story has a beginning. And in the world of war nickels, it all began here, 1942. Before the world knew the silver-nickel alloy, before the great wartime metal shift, there was one coin that changed the course of American minting history. This, the 1942 Monticello War Nickel with the large P mint mark, was the first of its kind, the spark that started a revolution in coinage and survival. This isn't just a piece of currency. It's the prototype of resilience. It's late 1942. America is deep in World War II. Every ounce of nickel, vital for armor plating, is diverted to war. The mint is told, find another way. And they did. In an act of sheer brilliance, metallurgists replaced nickel with silver and manganese, creating an entirely new composition. 56% copper, 35% silver, 9% manganese. The first true war nickel was born. But here's the twist. Halfway through 1942, both the regular nickel and this new wartime alloy were struck in the same year. That dual production turned 1942 into a mystery year, a transition few noticed then, but collectors would one day treasure forever. That bold large P was historic, the first time the U.S. Mint ever placed a mint mark on the coin's reverse. A proud signal that said, this is silver. This is for victory. Every contour of the 1942 P tells a story. The portrait of Jefferson, strong, steady, almost defiant, and the elegant dome of Monticello on the reverse, gleaming with wartime urgency. In fine condition, these coins still carry a subtle satin luster. Under angled light, you can see faint traces of frosted texture where silver meets copper. Each glint, each groove, each letter pressed deep and proud, a timestamp of innovation. Collectors call this coin the first strike of freedom, because it marked the moment America's coinage shifted from peace to purpose. Because 1942 was the turning point, its war nickel version stands apart. It wasn't just minted, it was invented. Few of these coins remain in fine, untouched condition. Most were spent, circulated, and worn down through years of post-war rebuilding. But those rare survivors with their large P mint mark intact, those are museum-level treasures. Collectors across the United States see the 1942 P as the Genesis coin, the alpha of the silver-nickel era. Auction houses list it as a cornerstone piece. Investors call it the foundation of wartime wealth. Each appearance sparks frenzy. Because you are not just bidding on a coin, you are bidding on the very beginning of a legend. Now let's talk about value. Because the numbers on this one don't whisper, they roar. The 1942 Monticello War Nickel, with large P mint mark, in fine condition, now commands an extraordinary market value of around $188,000. That's right, $188,000 for a 5-cent coin. A coin born in urgency, reborn as a fortune. And that number keeps climbing. Collectors say we are just at the beginning of its modern surge. With each passing year, fewer examples surface, and each one sold raises the bar higher. Don't take this as hype. This is truth. The 1942 P-War nickel has become a time machine of value, a coin that turned wartime necessity into a modern-day treasure. When you hold one, you're holding the first breath of America's wartime minting history and the weight of a fortune in your palm. Flip the coin and look just above Monticello. The large P mint mark is unmistakable. That bold letter was the mint's first public signal that silver was inside. In fine condition, the coin's fields are smooth but defined. Jefferson's profile crisp, Monticello's dome distinct. A soft, silver-gray tone with mild, even wear is the hallmark of authenticity. If you ever find one that still carries its original sheen, protect it immediately. Do not clean it. Do not buff it. Every microscopic trace of that wartime metal mix tells its story, and that story is worth thousands. The 1942 P-War nickel isn't just old metal. It's the moment America pivoted from peace to perseverance. The first silver 5-cent coin, the first large P mark, the first symbol of wartime adaptation in the mint's history. It represents innovation, courage, and the enduring value of change itself. And today it stands at the top of the collector's mountain, a $188,000 masterpiece of metal and memory. The beginning of the story, and the proof that sometimes the first step toward victory becomes a legacy worth more than gold. You're watching CoinX USA, where every coin tells a story, and every story reveals hidden wealth. Stay with us, because the next coin on our list is about to raise the stakes even higher. Coin number 9. Every once in a while, history whispers through metal, and when it whispers loud enough, collectors listen. What you're about to see is not just a 5-cent coin. It's a signal from the year 1943. The year America's mint turned silver into survival, and survival into treasure. This is the 1943 Monticello War nickel, born in San Francisco, stamped with a large S mint mark, and wrapped in a legend that refuses to fade. This coin traveled through war, through hands that worked, built, and fought, yet it remains a survivor of history, glowing with the power of time itself. And tonight, we uncover its secret. The year is 1943. The world is burning, and America is all in. Every ounce of nickel vital for armor plating and weaponry is redirected to the war front. The U.S. Mint faces a crisis. They can't stop minting nickels, but they can't use nickel. And so, like alchemists, they change the formula, forging a new metal identity. 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. A war coin, a symbol of unity between economy and effort, currency and courage. Each strike in 1943 was a pledge, every coin a small token of America's determination to fight, to win, and to never stop creating. The S mint mark? That's San Francisco's signature, the city that kept minting through chaos, the western fortress of wartime coinage. Take a look at the large S just above Monticello. It's bold, it's proud, and it's one of the most recognizable symbols of wartime production. Each S mark was punched deep, a declaration that these coins weren't ordinary nickels. They were national duty turned into design. Even in circulated condition, this 1943 S-War nickel radiates character, a soft gray sheen, edges worn smooth by time, yet the architecture of Monticello still stands proudly. That surface, it tells stories. The faint marks and wear patterns aren't flaws, they're fingerprints of history. Every scratch, every line, every tone of patina is proof that this coin lived through an age most of us only read about. It's not perfect, it's powerful. And in the world of collectors, that distinction means everything. Collectors across the United States whisper about this coin like treasure hunters sharing a secret map. Because the 1943 S is one of the most sought after of all the war nickels, not just for its beauty, but for its endurance. While millions were minted, few survived in collectible condition. Most were melted down or spent into oblivion, their silver quietly vanishing from circulation. But the few that remain, especially those still holding the clarity of that large S mark, have become cornerstones of serious collections. When a 1943 S shows up in an auction, hearts race, paddles rise, and prices climb higher than anyone expects. Because behind that coin lies not just metal, but emotion, memory, and living history. Now, let's talk about the number that is making collectors' jaws drop. The 1943 Monticello War nickel with the large S mint mark even in circulated condition, now carries a breathtaking market value of $177,000. Yes, $177,000. A fortune hidden in plain sight. A 5-cent piece turned into a symbol of legacy and wealth. And the value? It is still climbing. Every year the demand tightens and fewer pristine examples appear. Experts agree the 1943 SC War nickel is entering its golden phase of appreciation. This is no fiction. This is the real market speaking. Collectors call it the sleeper giant, a coin that may soon rival even higher-grade silver rarities in auction records. When you hold a 1943 S in your hand, you're not holding change. You're holding a chapter of America's financial soul. For collectors and hunters, here's how to know you've struck gold, or rather silver. First, flip the coin and look right above Monticello. The large S mint mark is your key, wide, bold, and deeply set. The surface should show that gentle wartime silver manganese tone. Not bright chrome, not dull gray, but a soft shimmer that catches the light like moonlit steel. If the portrait of Jefferson remains defined, with his cheekbone, hairline, and jawline still visible, you are likely looking at a strong, circulated grade, one worthy of professional grading and secure protection. Never attempt to polish or clean it. The natural patina is proof of authenticity. Each layer of age is a signature from time itself. The 1943 S-War nickel isn't just a collectible, it's a symbol of perseverance. It was born in a time of uncertainty, yet it stands today as a beacon of endurance, shimmering across 8 decades of history. From the war factories of the West Coast to the collector safes of today, it tells one powerful truth. Even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a nation. With a $177,000 valuation and a legend that keeps growing, this coin proves that real treasure isn't buried in the ground, it's minted in the past, rediscovered by those who know where to look. You're watching CoinX USA, the home of America's hidden wealth, where every coin has a heartbeat and every story glitters with truth. Stay tuned, because the final coins on our list will make your heart race even faster. Coin number 10. This is the end of the war and the beginning of a legacy. As 1945 dawned, the world stood on the edge of peace. The fighting would end soon, but before the silence came, America's mint struck one last chapter in the story of the war nickels. And this coin, the 1945 Monticello, 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark, became the final salute to an era of courage, sacrifice, and silver. This coin carries the closing note of a nation's resilience and the whisper of a hidden fortune that only a few would ever uncover. In 1945, as soldiers began their long journey home and factories shifted back to peace, the U.S. Mint made a decision. The war nickel would be struck one last time. It was the final year of the silver-manganese alloy, 56% copper, 35% silver, 9% manganese, a combination created not for beauty, but for survival. Every 1945 S that rolled off the San Francisco presses was part of history's farewell. The nation was healing, but the memory of sacrifice was still hot in the air. When you see that large S mint mark glint above Monticello, remember, it's not just a letter. It's the mark of the last stand, the final silver strike before peace reclaimed the metal and the people who forged it. The 1945 S nickel is unlike any other. Its surface tells two stories, the bright shimmer of silver and the dark whisper of time. Even in circulated condition, it holds that unmistakable patina of age, the silver-gray tone with warm undercurrents of copper that shimmer under direct light. Jefferson's portrait remains noble, carved with the same precision that endured 3 years of war. And on the reverse, Monticello still gleams, a monument not just to a president, but to a nation's perseverance. The S is large, bold, and deliberate. It was San Francisco's mark of mastery, their symbol of craftsmanship under pressure. Every stroke of the die told the world, we finished strong. For collectors, the 1945 S is more than just another war nickel. It's the last one, the end of an era, the closing chapter of America's wartime minting history. And that's where its true power lies. While millions were made, time and circulation erased most of them. Silver was reclaimed, melted, reused, and with each passing decade, the surviving 1945 S coins dwindled. Now, finding one in well-preserved, circulated condition with that clear, large S mark untouched is like finding a relic of America's soul. Auction houses report fierce bidding wars. Collectors chase it, not only for its rarity, but for what it represents, the resilience of a nation at its turning point. Each 1945 S that surfaces reignites the passion of discovery, a feeling every coin hunter lives for. And now the moment we have waited for, the number that leaves even veteran collectors speechless. The 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark in circulated condition today commands an astounding market value of $155,000. Yes, $155,000. A 5-cent coin that has become a cornerstone of fortune. A closing act worth a collector's crown. And believe me, this is no speculation. The value of this final wartime strike is rising every year. Experts call it the sleeping treasure of the Silver Series. As collectors race to complete their wartime sets, the 1945 S remains the keystone, the one they cannot live without. When you hold one, you hold not just a coin, but the very last breath of a minting miracle and the first heartbeat of prosperity's return. Collectors, listen closely. The 1945 S war nickel may look humble, but it demands care and respect. Look for that large S mint mark, clear, centered, and raised above Monticello. Check that Jefferson's profile is still defined, with visible cheek and jawline contours. Avoid cleaning or polishing. The gentle gray patina is proof of authenticity and age. If you're lucky enough to find one, store it in a temperature-stable environment, ideally within a protective holder that prevents silver oxidation. Each mark of wear, each softened ridge, is a chapter of history you should never erase. The 1945 S war nickel isn't just a coin. It's a symbol, the final chapter of America's silver wartime journey. It was struck as the guns fell silent, as victory took shape, and as a weary nation prepared to rebuild. And today it stands not as a relic, but as a testament that even the smallest pieces of history can grow into treasures beyond imagination. With a stunning $155,000 market value and rising with every auction, the 1945 S war nickel proves that the true wealth of America isn't just in gold. It's in the stories we preserve, the metal we remember, and the legacy we refuse to forget. You've just witnessed 10 coins that changed history. 10 pieces of metal that hold fortunes within their shine. I'm your host from CoinX USA. And remember, our channel is freshly updated every single day, bringing you the newest discoveries, the wildest finds, and the most valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep your eyes on your change. Because you never know when you might be holding a treasure.